Hold on.
Good.
How do we reverse right there?
Yeah, is that?
All right, there we go.
I see no video or sound. Okay, so thumbs up if you all see anything. Am I in there?
See if I get anything. Yeah, I see you.
All right. Anyone? Can you all hear?
I don't see a thumbs up yet. We're 22 seconds in.
Okay. Anybody? There might not be anyone live yet on there. Thumbs up if you can hear everybody.
You got 2 people in the audience that shows.
And
no thumbs up yet. Can somebody give us a thumbs up if you can hear us? We're just doing a quick sound check.
Or say you can't hear.
Gotcha, and you're coming in loud and clear. Thank you, Jack. We got it. All right.
Cool. Now we can't see who is typing in because I didn't bring a laptop. I probably should have. Now I think about it. Actually,
I could spin it.
What's that now?
You want to try to spin the camera?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying, to make it.
Yeah, so we can see it while we're talking?
Oh, yes, that's what I know. Yeah, man. Fred's
How's that?
Right.
Will that work?
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Drop this down.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for your apology or for your patience.
That's good. Oh, perfect.
And then
bring it up just a little bit so we can make sure they got the volume. Or bring out the phone up a little bit.
Okay.
This way. Yeah, they're perfect. I think that's good, man. So we can definitely see. Yep.
There we go. Now we can see everybody.
All right.
Thumbs up. You still got us on audio, everybody?
Yeah.
We got 7 people in.
And
We got one thumb up.
Right, cool.
8 people in. Good.
All right, we'll see. As you can see, this is professional class. You want to look right here. That's the video.
Yeah.
Now it's working. All right, cool. Dan, we got Jack. Right on. Gotcha.
There we go.
We are coming live from Blue Ridge, Georgia, which is about an hour north of Atlanta.
Yeah, 2 hours, maybe hour and a half. Depends
And
on
we
traffic.
got Quincy, and it's literally could not ask for a better day, my friends. It's a blues and barbecue festival this weekend. It's out in the mountains here. I think they got some hydroelectric over here. We got Mark and my man Fritz. Fritz Gilbert's from the Retirement Manifesto. The budding author is working on chapter 2 of your or 3 of your book.
Just about done with chapter 2, yeah.
So be on the lookout for a book from Fritz and the retirementmanifesto.com with a the. Is that correct?
That's it.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. And so we got hey, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate y'all being here.
Yep.
And it's I don't want to say a challenge, but it'll be hard to see questions. So just make sure if you do type any questions up there, we can see it. We're not on a mic. The mic didn't work, so it's fun getting this to work. But we want to say thank you to the Coffee House.
Yeah.
And that's spelled Kaffee house, like in German, right? For letting us use their back porch here for this video. So anyway, so the reason I came up here is because I like getting out of the house on occasion, leaving old Pablo with the wife to take him to the vet for the first time, make sure he's got his shots and whatnot. Mr. Fritz's wife Jackie does a rescue for dogs up here as well. So I was introduced to about 4 or 5 dogs in their house. And when I come back, Pablo's gonna be very, very jealous. He thinks I'm cheating on him for sure because all these dogs are jumping on me, and you wouldn't have it any other way. But just to let you know again, Fritz moved up here how long ago?
2 years ago. I retired June of 18, so 18 months now. Been living up here. Well, not quite. 14 months.
Yeah.
Been living up here full time, but we moved here a while before that, and I just had a small apartment down in Atlanta until I retired. So,
Yep.
We've been living here full time since my retirement 14
And
months ago.
And Fritz downsized from a 4,000 square foot home
Yep.
to what about 1,800 or so?
1,800, yeah.
You got a mortgage?
Nope, paid off our mortgage. We sold the house in Atlanta and took the equity and just paid off the cabin up here. And our property taxes fell to $1,100 a year. People, it's cheap to live up here. It's amazing. 200,000 for the cabin. It's decent place. Doesn't have the big mountain views, but you came over. Appreciate you coming over, checking the place out.
Nah, it's
but it's a great
fantastic.
way to do the downsizing, move to retirement, and I was able to get out at 55, and it's working great.
Live on
location.
Hey, Rob's from Massachusetts. Worcester, Massachusetts, as a matter of fact. In fact, Fritz is from Michigan. His better half, Jackie's from Ohio. And so Fritz was telling me, I said, do you have any, because Fritz obviously manages his own money. I said, do you have any concern that you're leaving money on the table by not doing what Rick Edelman, it's not a bash Rick Edelman thing, but just, Fritz we're kind of talking about that on the way here when they bought me lunch. And I said, well, if you're buying me, I'm eating surf and turf. You hamburger.
Big creme brulee, the whole thing.
That's right.
Look at these fancy coffees.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Coffee house.
Actually, just bought the coffee. So cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Right on.
Iced coffees. It's warm out here.
Yeah, it is actually kind of hot. But Fritz, sold his house, downsized. What are you, 57 right now?
50s. I'm still 55.
50
No, 56.
56.
Yeah. Gotta think for a minute.
So Cobra, and then after
Yep.
that, he's got to concern himself with health insurance, and we were talking about that over lunch. And I asked him, I said, "What do you think about? Would you feel like you're missing out because you don't have a mortgage, but you also don't have money in the market, and theoretically you could be making, hey, what's going on, everybody, Deb? You could be making
Great
money in the
spirit
market." Yep. Hey, I'm a CB.
Hey, I'm a Blue Ridge. All right, CB.
Think about buying a house there for retirement.
You and everybody else, it's a popular place. Come out if you come into town, give me a shout. I'll take you out and we'll buy you coffee here at Dallas Coffee House.
In fact, what time was the train going by?
It should be coming in about 3 o'clock.
Yeah, so there's gonna be a train. We're
it.
literally right on a train track. It's gonna be going by at 3, and you can take it. Well, I'm gonna take my wife and kids up here to do that train with Santa Claus thing, even though my kids don't believe in Santa Claus anymore. Hey, Bruce Buckeye, I imagine. Yep, from the Buckeye State.
OH.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But no worries about missing out on markets, upsides, arbitrage.
We talked about that a little bit before while we were eating, and is it better to carry a mortgage and invest the money, play the arb? And my feeling is, just not having that debt and just it's out of your spending equation.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about, it's just peace of mind. It's one less thing. If you get into a bear market, you got a couple $100,000 in your house equity that's suddenly down 50%. Hey, over time you'll probably do better than your 4% mortgage. But man, if you got to live through some really big downturns in the middle of that versus just, hey, the house is paid for, I can cut my spending to the bare bones and get through it. To me, it's kind of it might be economically suboptimized, but emotionally it pays for itself. It makes sense to do it. That was our decision.
Did you did you even think about investing? You've taken a mortgage and investing the proceeds.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. We actually had a period of time. I wrote some articles about it. I initially said we're not going to pay off a mortgage, and we sold our house. We had $150,000 sitting in cash, and I was like, well, should I go ahead and put it in the market? I put it in muni bonds for a couple months just because I was like, well, I get a little bit better, than sitting in the market. And I was debating what to do with them. And I wrote a post and said, I've decided I'm not going to pay off the mortgage. I'm going to play the arb. And then a couple months later, continuing to think about it, I said, decided to become debt free. And it's a personal decision, probably math wise. It's kind of a coin toss.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a difference, and it really comes down to what's your risk tolerance and which brings you more comfort. Because retirement is all about simplifying things, getting the money to where you got enough, and reducing the stress. And to us, just getting rid of the stress and not having to manage it it just seemed like an obvious decision after we thought about it.
And you can't quantify that either.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
In that period, I was going through the ARB and it's not worth it.
I don't know how. Actually, that's a great observation. Retirement is about reducing stress, and it just seems to me that if you haven't, I don't know. Look, people do whatever they want to do, but I'm sitting there thinking. So I saw Fritz's house. It's 1,800 square feet. All right, it's not a shack by any stretch of the imagination. It's on this back road, just a beautiful place. The smell of pine trees, it's just gorgeous. He's literally a hop and a skip. He can literally walk and do fly fishing in his backyard. Yeah. He's got it's nuts. And you come down here in the Blue Ridge. It's a beautiful little town. Why would you want to stress? And I just don't get it. And here's the thing. I asked him. He has a propane tank of 400 gallons or something like that. And that costs him about $2,000 a year to heat the house because it's a little bit cooler up here. He's 1,700 feet elevation.
Yep, a little bit of snow.
He got electricity. He's got heat. Rob is fantastic. In fact, Rob, I was telling Fritz, a lot of that place is in the Northeast. The old, textile. You remember on the rivers, like the Merrimack River and stuff. A lot of those old towns. That's what they did here. They took the train station and they built up the train depot and whatnot, and that's what they've done in the Northeast. But anyway, so for Fritz, he's like sitting here with his wife. His wife does rescue dogs. They come down here to a barking lot every Saturday. Essentially, it's like a farmer's marketplace. And you don't have to live like a millionaire to retire.
You sure don't.
And
you sure don't.
Now we don't have health. And when I say I've talked about Fritz. He's got to concern himself with health insurance for sure, and that's something he's going to chomp on. Would you mind sharing? I hate to even ask you on the spot, but a little bit of that story about the Alzheimer's that we're talking about.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we my mother-in-law lived with us for 4 years. Started having Alzheimer's, got to the point where she couldn't live on her own. So we, had her come in and move in with us. This is when we were still living down in the city, still working.
Yeah.
And then she got to a point she fell and broke her hip. Actually, we were up at our cottage up here, our cabin, and New Year's Eve she fell down. She wasn't doing any of the drinking. She just fell down on New Year's Eve.
Old lady.
Yeah, old lady fell down, broke her hip. Unfortunately, ended up in a nursing home for about 3 years, and drained all of her, assets. Got into where she qualified for Medicaid and was covered through that safety net, thankfully, for the last couple of years of her life. And she lived just a few miles from here in a nursing home, and you think about that, when you see a family member go through that. We've looked at long-term care. We've decided to self-insure, but man, that's one of those. It's kind of like, do you pay off the mortgage or not? Long-term care insurance. Do you self-insure, or do you pony up for the big premiums? And at this point, we've decided to self-insure, and we're pretty healthy. We'll see where it goes, but yeah, that's a concern.
Now, his mother-in-law was in you looked at nursing homes or Medicaid facilities back in the city, towards Atlanta, in the metropolitan area. Not happy with that. If you're facing a situation where you've got a parent that's going to be getting into a Medicaid facility, you don't just accept the one that's closest to you. There is a big degree of difference between the quality, and to us, it was worth moving up here earlier than we had planned to get her in a nicer facility. Same price for her, right? It's all Medicaid, right?
But get her into the nicer facility, and we would deal with moving up here sooner than we had planned, and I'd get my apartment in the city. That was fine. That at our age, we're still young, healthy, adaptable. We can do that a lot easier than putting her in a place that we weren't comfortable with. So that's what we did.
On the Medicaid, Fritz had his wife Jackie, his sister, was kind of an expert on that, so that helped a lot. Anything you can say that you learned from that kind of process, or you just said, hey, Jackie's sister took care of the thing? Anything jump out at you?
I would say there's not anything we learned specifically about the Medicaid process. What we did learn, I think that's a broader topic, is if you get into the point where you're caring for aging parents, find ways that different siblings can do things that help. We were the only family that was nearby, so she was living with us. She was in the nursing home by our house, and the other siblings stepped up and said, look, we've got expertise in that area. We'll take care of that Medicaid stuff. You don't even have to think about it. And that was helpful for us. So yeah, we didn't learn anything about Medicaid, but we learned how valuable it is to have a family member that's willing to take a load off when you're in the middle of dealing with an elderly parent.
That's interesting. Absolutely. What and the mom died last year. Obviously, didn't leave any inheritance or anything.
No.
How about the just the settling of the estate and all that? How'd that go?
Again, that's where one of the brothers said, he was the executor, but there was nothing left. I mean, she was on Medicaid for quite a while. Had sold everything when she moved into the nursing home, so it was pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Gotcha. And so again, going back to the idea. So Blue Ridge. Someone asked where Blue Ridge is. This is in Georgia. There's a Blue Ridge, Virginia. It's 5 miles from the Tennessee line or something like that. So like if you look at Chattanooga, you got kind of, I guess, towards more of the central part.
Kind of between Chattanooga and Knoxville, right below the Tennessee line. If you go where Tennessee and North Carolina all come together, that tri-state area is just 5 miles due north of where we're sitting right now.
It's funny too, because Northern Virginia, right? Fritz was telling me that when he does his fly fishing and whatnot, you'd go through this area. It reminds him of Colorado to some degree. He's like, if they just dropped you off here, you would, and you didn't know where you were, you could easily be mistaken that this is Colorado. And we're not here to sell you on Georgia. I'm just saying.
No, this is Blue Ridge, Virginia. Did we say
Blue
Ridge, Virginia.
Exactly.
Don't come to Blue Ridge, Georgia, please.
No. But you got $200,000 home. What's your property tax over here? Like
$1,100.
$1,100. Income tax, well, you're probably nothing once you get 65, because once you're over 65 in Georgia, at that point you'll be on Medicare. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be, let's just say, $5,000 per. I mean, just Fritz, it frustrates me so much when all these people. I had a lady yesterday, nice lady in Florida, Virginia.
Virginia,
And
you're listening, spectator.
And she was sitting there saying she couldn't retire because her financial advisor had run some numbers. And if you hear the background noise, sorry, but you're going to hear a louder background noise, I'm hoping, when you see the train coming through, which is pretty cool. I mean, you got to admit, the train's going through town is pretty cool.
It's pretty loud. When this train comes through, it'll blast this recording. It'll be interesting to see.
We got a pub and grill, the Borough Inn Pub and Grill right across the street. They got how much these condos going?
Here, let's show people around. You want to give them a little tour?
Yeah.
Okay,
this is the back end of downtown.
There's some new condos that went in over there.
$400,000 for those?
Yeah, they're going for like $400,000. So whereas our place was pretty cheap, these higher end places downtown are a little more expensive. And Jackie's going to say hi. This is my wonderful wife over there snacking on something. Let's see if we can see
Jack's
her.
like,
Putting her on the spot.
I didn't want to be on the video.
You see, it's pretty quiet down here on the weekdays, but on the weekends it gets crazy. So there we go. Hopefully that worked out.
That's the back part of Blue Ridge. Let's see, I'll sit down, make sure.
Sorry for the disruption. Was that worth it, hopefully, everybody?
I think it,
All right.
bring it up a little bit, actually. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there
right?
you go. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Bring it a little bit closer.
Oh, yeah, closer.
All right. So let's talk some retirement planning
All
on
right.
top of that too. So while you're working on your book, Fritz, what's some of the things that just general idea? Let's see. Next to the railroad. Yeah, exactly. Man.
Yeah, you're right, Janet. Yeah, but they're very nice. They're very high end.
Google Street View is last was 2008. That's nuts, man.
Wow, really? In Blue Ridge? That's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
We're out in the middle of nowhere. We're surrounded by national forest. It's yeah.
It's freaking awesome.
That's something.
If you see your old buddy Josh, don't be shocked if I'm out this way in the neck of the woods. I'm telling you, I gotta get my better half. I hope she's not watching this. Is the weather always like it is now up here?
It's pretty nice. It's Georgia. I mean, it's hot in the summer,
Yeah.
but winters, we might get 1 or 2 light dustings of snow a winter, and that's about it. Some are really old, as somebody else just said too, yeah. So hopefully they're soundproof. No, when the train comes through, you'll definitely hear it.
Do you all hear the rain? Do you say in your house?
We can hear the train from our house.
They hear the train
And
from
we
our
probably,
house.
as a crow flies, we're probably, what would you say, 3 or 4 miles from here?
Yeah, yeah.
And,
it took 10
and
minutes.
you can hear the train. Yeah.
It's crazy too. When I drove up to Fritz's house, I had to. Some lady was coming down the road. It was literally a dirt road, and I had to let her go by. 100 inches of snow up here, up there. Yeah, with Roth.
Yeah,
well,
out here.
he's from Michigan, man. He knows that. But anyway, I had to go. I had to let some lady go by to let me get around, and it's just that's how the dirt, literally a dirt road. Mosquitoes. We talk about mosquitoes up
No
here.
mosquitoes. If you're on the rivers, there's some beautiful rivers, trout fishing
yeah.
rivers. If you're closer to water, there's a lake here. You can get some mosquitoes. But actually, where we are, there's pretty good breeze. Where it's mountains, woods. We don't really have a problem with mosquitoes. Surprisingly, yeah.
Man, Scott's from Ellijay.
Oh, hey, how you
Yeah,
doing, Scott? Neighbor
yeah.
down the road, yeah.
Yeah, right on.
You
Absolutely.
probably recognize the view behind us. That's
Yeah.
Southern Charm Restaurant right there back there behind me. If you've ever been here,
Well, they have 25,000 people here tomorrow.
it's gonna be big. Yeah, there's a big blues festival. Scott, you might want to come up. It's barbecue, blues and barbecue. It's the biggest music festival in North Georgia. Starting tomorrow.
Assuming it's freight not. No,
It's a passenger. This is all passenger. Yeah.
So apparently, tell them about what
Yeah, there used to be copper mines here. So this railroad track that you're seeing behind us was put in initially to haul copper out of the mines, which are just north of us in Tennessee. And a guy in 1998 had the vision. It was all gutted. The copper mines closed in the, late 60s, early 70s. So there was a passenger terminal up here behind us. You might be able to see it in the shot. I don't know if you can. I don't think you can quite see it.
Yeah.
Just off camera. And it was run down, and this guy had the vision to go ahead and fix up the train depot and bought a building across the street, made a restaurant, put in a little scenic train ride, and what are we, 20 years later?
That's
Blue Ridge
crazy.
has really turned into a nice little vacation destination up in the mountains. So it was
Yes.
all the vision of one guy to take advantage of this old copper rail line that went in here and use it for scenic tours up to Tennessee.
I'm sure when he started out, people were like, no one's gonna go up to Blue Ridge. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah, there he is,
Yeah,
crazy.
it was a gutted old textile town, It's kind of like you're talking about up in the
Yeah,
Northeast.
yep.
It was very comparable. A lot of these old mountain towns were kind of economically depressed. There wasn't much left. And Blue Ridge kind of rebuilt itself on tourism and
Yeah.
retirement. It's a big retirement.
Yeah,
area now.
absolutely.
Yeah.
How about when you retired, Fritz? Were people saying you're crazy retiring, or what? When you were calling it a career, what?
Yeah. Hey, Swan Drive-In. There you go. Yeah, it's one of the few remaining drive-ins. Well, there's a couple around, but there's one in Blue Ridge. So, I think I was pretty vocal. I've been writing my blog, the Retirement Manifesto, for 4 years now.
Yeah.
So I've been really vocal about retiring. I've been open about it in the workplace. I think people knew well in advance that we were planning on doing it.
Okay.
And it was all supportive. Even
Yeah.
my boss, all my coworkers. There wasn't any of this. What are you, crazy? I think they
Right.
knew that it was really a passion of ours to get out early. And our whole thinking was, you just don't know how many good years you're going to have left. And I was
man.
transparent with people that saying, look, we know we've got enough. We don't need extravagant living, right? As we talked about, we're living in a low-cost area, low-cost house, and we'll get to the demographics in a minute. Thanks for the question. So it was really, people were encouraging us, and we said, look, we're going to lower our cost of living. We moved out of the big city, moved up here to the mountains, bought a cheap place, and we're out hiking, you know, fly fishing, camping. You know, we're living outside, you know, most of the time. We really enjoy being outside. So demographics, it's becoming a retirement town for sure. There was a Wall Street Journal about this area, and they're calling them halfbacks, people that went to Florida and they come halfway back to be near their kids. So you will notice, you noticed it when we were at lunch, you know, you do see more of an elderly population here now, and that's probably just been in the last 5 years. So you still have kind of the original, a lot of Appalachia type population here. There's a lot of poverty, but then you've got this weird additional surge of all these demographics of wealthy people coming in that are retiring here. So you've got kind of a bimodal population, but it works. Yeah. So yeah.
What made you choose Georgia over like Florida or something like that?
Yeah, you know, it's shocking. The number of people that are moving here from Florida is mind-boggling. It seems like, is there anybody left in Florida? I mean, there's a constant stream of people moving in here. For us, it was really just the heat. We'd rather be up at 1,700 feet, a little bit cooler climate. And you still have a nice, you know, you still get 4 seasons. You still have a nice winter. It's not rough. So we just preferred being here. Plus, we were already in Atlanta, so it was just convenient to be able to come up here 2 hours away and then transition into retirement.
And you've moved around, I mean, your career.
Yeah,
I mean,
we moved like 8 or 9 times.
Okay, so you've been to other places too.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's just, like you're saying about Florida too, with the hurricanes, obviously in some parts of Florida you don't have that, but the vast majority of Florida you're gonna have to pay the expenses for hurricane insurance, and you don't get that up here, that's for sure. And LJ, yeah, man, that's ball ground, and I had to drive through ball ground to get up here, and same kind of thing. I would say, but Fritz, I asked him the same thing too, Spectator, about the demographics, but you are, I mean, there's a high school here, 1,500 kids, which isn't a huge high school, but it's not small. Beach is 4 hours or something like that?
Yeah, probably 4 hours to the Panhandle would be the nearest. You could probably get over to the Georgia beaches, maybe 5 or 6. But yeah, Panhandle beaches probably, 4 or 5, I guess. Haven't done it yet, but something like
Orange
that.
Beach, we took from Orange Beach to Atlanta. I mean, from where we lived in Atlanta to Orange Beach, I think as in Alabama about 6 hours, but I think Panhandle's just about 4, so probably 5.
Yeah.
It's literally an hour north from where I am to get here. So I went through PT, and I was like, man, I got some. I was like running early, and then I got stuck behind. I forgot what happened. There was some kind of. Anyways, it took me about 20 extra minutes than I would have thought, but man, it's just a hop and skip up here. It's crazy. It's just
and totally different world. I mean, there's no traffic.
You just get out. You just here. You just relax. I just think that's so. Look, I'm not retired. 6.5 hours.
Okay, there you go.
We had 4 seasons in Western New York. Too bad winter takes up 6. That's the nice thing about you get snow, but it goes away. Unlike Josh, you still think moving and oh yeah, Are there
Asian retired? I don't know that there's a large Asian population in Georgia in general. I think
Indian, a lot of Indians.
A lot of Indians, but even there, not a lot. I would say it is primarily Caucasian retirees here. Just, it is what it is.
Snow never. Yeah, that's the drawback with the Northeast, Rob. Snow never.
Sorry
goes
for
away.
the equipment. Something's got by. A little bobcat.
Yeah, he's probably gonna go down and tear down an old home and put a brand new fancy McMansion up there. But when I'm driving up here, this is what it's like. You come here, and it's just like it's relaxing. You're just like, oh, it just makes you just go relax. And you're sitting in. I'm not even in Atlanta proper. I'm in the north suburbs of North Fulton County. And it's nice, but. One snow in Boston, see that, till July.
Wow.
But you come up here, just it's relaxed. I can't even, you know what it's like. You get into it, it's like you relax. It's awesome. You smell the fresh air, you smell the pines, and being, a po' boy from Maine, the pine smell and just the quiet, and I just love it.
Yeah, the Appalachian Trail actually starts just probably 5 miles from where we're sitting.
Oh, that's nice.
The Appalachian Trail starts right here.
And the history too.
Yeah. So it's a good place to retire, and I think anybody that's thinking about relocating in retirement, I think it really is
Atlanta.
Airport.
Oh yeah, Atlanta's
plus one.
You just flew out of London or something like that.
Yeah, I just flew in from London yesterday or 2 days ago. So you can do it from here if you have to. It's not impossible. It's 2 hours to the airport, so it's not too bad.
Any thoughts, Fritz? I know you make a little bit of money on your blog, but any thoughts on some like other people starting a blog, or like what would you suggest if someone say, hey, I want to get some passive income? Because passive income means you're just sitting around. Eating Cheetos all day long. We're not really doing anything. But any thoughts on if someone's going to try to start a blog, like what they should be thinking about?
I mean, I think the goal shouldn't be to make money. If you're trying to make
Yeah,
money on a blog, you'll never be successful. Because
agree.
you'll write for 2 years without making a dime, maybe 3, and you know, you really have to find the driver for anything. And I think it's probably the same with you with these videos. You got to find something that you really love to do. And 9 months of winter, yep,
Minnesota.
Quick sure does get old. I think you got to find something you love to do, and if you just happen to make money at it because you develop a following and people are like, hey, I like this guy, I like that content, I like that, you know, that's got to be your motivation, that you naturally grow because you enjoy what you're doing and the money follows it. At least in terms of the social media side, I firmly believe that's the way you've got to do it.
I completely agree. I'm telling you, I'll say this, I'm blue in the face. I don't care what it is. I gave an example before of using minor league baseball card collection. There are guys on YouTube getting paid just talking about their baseball card stuff. And I guarantee there's guys blogging talking about their baseball card stuff because they have a passion for it. I don't care what your passion is. Hell, you could be fly fishing. Just go out there. He was coming, staying in Georgia. Man, Quincy, whatever the spouse does is where I'm going. Because if she leaves me, I'll be freaking living in a van by the river, or I'll be boarding at old Fritz's house here, because I wouldn't know what to do with myself if my better half wasn't with me, that's for sure.
I hear you, amen.
I'm just saying that because I think she might be watching this video. Shh. So if Charlotte's not watching this video, I take that back. Just joking. But Georgia's, I don't know. Who knows, man? I love Tennessee. I love Georgia. Yeah. I love Maine, not going to lie to you, but I just can't. Those winters kill me. I had looked at South Dakota, but the cold, it scares me, not gonna lie to you, the cold. Yeah. So when Fritz was telling me he pays $2,000 a van by the river, well, Jerry, you're moving to Texas, man. So he was telling us $2,000 a year, on our propane roughly for an 1,800 square foot home. Again, this isn't a 400 square foot condo. It's a real live home. I said, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. You can retire in America. You don't have to go to Panama.
That's right.
Nothing wrong with Panama, but you know, the idea of monkeys taking a poop and throwing it at me. When I was in the Army, we'd go to Panama and we'd go through the jungle and they'd be literally throwing an RV.
Hey, we got our RV. We got a 36-foot RV parked in our driveway. You saw it this morning. So
is that called a fifth wheel?
That's a fifth wheel. We just did. We called it the Great American Road Trip. We did 10,000 miles, 18 states.
Oh, you got a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I put some videos up on my YouTube channel.
What's your YouTube channel?
The Retirement Manifesto.
Manifesto.
Check it out. Did a couple of videos on our trip out. So our daughter's out in Seattle, so we went out and stayed out with them for the summer. And again, having the freedom, Georgia gets hot in the summer. We're like, hey, let's hook up the camper and we'll spend the summer in the Pacific Northwest. So it's great. 30 feet. Yeah, it's good size. Yeah.
What's the, so I was talking to a lady yesterday who's got an Airstream. Are you familiar with Airstreams?
Yeah, they're the aluminum looking ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Are they self-drive or are they a fifth
wheel?
No,
they're bumper pull actually.
Okay.
So, yeah, it hooks onto the bumper.
Did you look at an Airstream or?
No, we like the fifth wheel. What we did, about probably 3 years before retirement, we started going to RV shows, and we really looked at all the different models, you know, motorhome versus RV or fifth wheel versus bumper pull, and we really got a sense of what did we see ourselves doing extended travel in, and we knew we weren't going to buy for 3 years. So I was like, okay, we like that model. Let's keep that model in mind, and we'll look next year and see how they look. And we kept the brochures of the ones that we liked, and over time. Kirtland, Washington, how far did you? Oh, it just faded away.
You said you liked what do you think about the PN Pacific Northwest?
You know, I wouldn't want to live there. The costs are obviously outrageously high compared to what we just talked about for here. But for a summer with an RV, fabulous. You know, summers are great, sunny like this, you know, for the most part. Winters, obviously, you get the gray and the overcast up there. So to be able to go up there seasonally and spend the summer, gorgeous part of the country. Live there year round, I'd probably rather be here.
Did you stay at BLM land or campgrounds?
No, we stayed. Our son-in-law is in the military, so he's at the military base up there, Joint Base Lewis McChord. Oh, yeah. So we just stayed at a private resort just down the road from there. The rest of the time, we stayed in state parks and national parks. Yellowstone, Glacier, the Tetons. We hit all the national parks on the way back. So a little bit of both, but primarily state parks.
How much does it cost to set up?
State parks, depending where you're at, I'd say they run $25 to $35 a night.
Okay.
So we're still doing kind of.
Yep,
$25 to $35 a night, and then
does that include electricity and stuff? Really?
Yeah. So it's affordable. I mean, you're burning through a lot of gas to haul the thing out there, right? 10,000 miles pulling a camper is not efficient, but it's a good way to travel. You know, every night You got the same bed.
Yeah.
Your kitchen's the same. You know,
How is safety
it's
though?
comfortable.
I mean, because kind of anyone can pull up in those places, right? And I mean,
We never had any.
No issues?
No, we never had any issues at all. It was, yeah, I think you can get some partiers and
Yeah.
stuff, but I think that's more in the private campgrounds. We never saw it. You know, in the state parks, it was a lot of people just like us, a lot of retirees, a lot of people just want to be outside hiking. So we didn't have any concerns at all.
how big are those? Like you have a 30-foot one? Is that what
Yeah,
you
it's
said?
35, I think.
So is that like, I didn't go inside, so you got a bed and then you like a small kitchen and stuff?
It's got, yeah, I'm kitchen with an island.
Okay.
You know, full-size refrigerator,
Okay.
microwave.
You got a generator in there or something like that?
No,
Is
we've got a generator we can take, but we
Okay.
normally just hook up. We'll
Okay.
run on the batteries if it's just 1 or 2 nights.
Okay.
At a, you know, at a
So you
drive
literally just like
camping.
plug into
Yeah,
it? Oh.
yeah, yeah. It's got leather recliners, 2 leather recliners, looking at a fireplace with a TV,
Oh, yeah.
and then a couch in the back. It's very comfortable. So
The lady I
shower.
talked to yesterday, the Airstream, she doesn't have a house. She just rents the land for like
Yeah.
$500 a month
Yeah.
in Florida.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's your, she pays like $500 a month for her Airstream, and she rents. So it's like $1,000 a month for what her payments are for the $500 a month for her Airstream that she's buying, plus
Yeah.
the $500 that includes. I think she said that included everything other than electrical.
Yeah,
It's
not a bad way to go.
No,
Not bad.
$1,000
Yeah.
a month. But here's the thing. This is what ticks me off about financial planning. So her guy runs a financial plan for her and doesn't adjust the fact that that Airstream payment is going to go away. And so he's showing her running out of money when she was like, I don't know, 80 years old or something like that. And she's panicked. She's panicked. And she's like, I'm going to run out of money. I said, but, hey, you're not. And but I said, but he's assuming that Airstream payment is going to be there forever, and at some point it will go away. And
Yeah.
that was a big.
Yeah.
That was like half her rent.
Wow.
And I was like, this is what oh my goodness. On top of this guy, lady was talking about. On top of that, she was paying this guy 1.5% a year in management fees. And I'm like sitting there thinking, dude, you dug your own grave. You're saying this lady's going to run out of money, and yet you're going to charge her 1.5%. And when she comes talk to me, I'm going to say the first thing she's going to do is get rid of this guy. She can't afford that 1.5%. She only had like $206,000. But when you actually look at reality, you're like, you're going to be just fine, Mrs. Smith, whatever her name was. I remember her name. I'm just saying, you're going to be just fine. But you got to reduce your expenditures. And one of the biggest things is reducing the fee that you're paying this guy. And on top of that, he had her in mutual funds too. Speaking of which, I asked Fritz what he's going to do with Jackie. If Fritz, if I breathe so much CO2 on, I'm going to kill them here right here. What would Jackie do? So
Yeah,
what,
and actually there's 2 things I'd like to answer that. One is every year I write a love letter. I call it a love letter. I think it's better than a, in case of emergency, ice letter. But, if you don't already do this, document all your, where do you keep your passwords, usernames for your online accounts. I put
Okay. All right. Well, hey, we appreciate
Yeah, thank you for letting us shoot it up here. Here,
We're giving you some advertising.
we'll let you wave.
on,
Say hi. This is the owner of the restaurant there, the Das Coffee House.
we're doing a live YouTube stream, so thank you.
The dog wants to be on
Yeah, that's
YouTube.
right. It's like Pablo.
So do an annual letter.
Thanks,
So
Hendo.
So I do an annual letter that I update with all of our net worth statements, and in there I've told her I've kind of gotten written text, call your brother, get him down here, show him this letter, very tactical,
Yeah.
step by step. But when we get to the financial management side of it, I said, look, just call Vanguard,
Yep.
pay him the 30 basis points,
Yep.
hire the personal advisory service, and be done with it. There's no reason that she can't manage it herself. She knows nothing about it. I do the investment planning. So I think somebody said they lost us.
Yeah, let's see here. Sometimes we stream. All right, so I saw it looks like
We still there, everybody?
we're still there. I
We
saw
have
it.
50 online, it's showing.
It's fun when I do these I do a regular Sunday night at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Back now.
now.
Okay, cool.
Good.
All right, cool.
Okay, good, thanks. So
personal love letter, yeah.
personal advisory service, to
Oh,
me,
yeah.
I think there's no reason you can't with a little bit of knowledge, they can walk you through it.
Yeah.
For the 30 basis points, why would you pay 1.5% to an assets under management?
Crazy. On
So-
top of mutual funds in there too.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I just, and we're just talking too with Fritz about the industry as had to refresh. Okay, right on, Scott. The industry needs to go a different way, which is going away from assets under management, because there's a bunch of people just like this lady who got a decent sized portfolio. $200,000 isn't chump change, my friends. And she went through divorce. You know what I'm saying? So she's a single lady now, and she's just. This happens a lot, and for her not to have any access to financial planning other than me, or there's got to be another way. And hold on just 1 second. And the other way would be Vanguard. We talked about, and that's what Jackie's going to do. So just, I wish more people would, and this is why I tell you guys too, you can make a second career doing financial planning stuff. And you don't have to do advice like I do, but you could write blogs, you can share video, whatever you want to do, but you can do it. People need your assistance, but some people do need the hand holding. And charging 35 basis points like Vanguard does, and at the minimum is like $25,000.
Yes, it's very reasonable.
I did buy it. So
I got some VDIG. Is that
you did?
Yeah, I've always had it part of my portfolio.
So
Highway 515. You're right on the comments. Yep.
Actually, I was going to along those lines. I did a comparison of VDIG to VTV. No, to Wellington. So Wellington, I'm writing a book.
Yeah,
on.
that's the simple. We talked about that last time. Yeah, the one fund, one fund retirement. Yeah.
And so I did, Jerry. I did. I got it. So we have a moderator on YouTube. You can get someone to moderate in case you got some clowns every now and again. All right, so I'll tell you about it real quick, Rob. So I looked at Wellington versus VDIG, going back to, I just call it VDIG because that was a good way to say it.
Yeah.
Back to updated by course. Yeah, no, I'm also doing a course. The course, I do 2 videos a day on my course, Ray, and that sucker should be done. I'm giving myself 2 weeks because I got a couple more things I need to do. Then I got some paperwork, not paperwork, but what's the word I'm looking for? Some PDFs I want to create so I can share with you guys. All right, so VDIG go back to 1992, and the Wellington Fund goes back to 1930. So it was 1930. So believe it or not, from 1992 to VDIG, to 2018, Wellington smoked the dividend growth fund. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Smoked it. If you would have put $100,000 in Wellington, $100,000 in dividend growth fund, Wellington would have given you $150,000 more at the time.
Wow.
If you would have done it from 2000 to 2018, so the start of the chaos, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Wellington smoked it. If you did it from 2009 to 2018, VDIG smoked Wellington.
Okay.
And so you got 3 scenarios from 1993 essentially to 2018, 25 years. Wellington smoked dividend growth. From 2000 to 2018, Wellington smoked dividend growth. From 2009 to 2018, Wellington got smoked. So the question is, which is why I don't know the answer to this. Wellington did better because bonds gave
I was going to ask, what's the bond allocation of the Wellington
35%.
35%, okay.
But the question is, before you go, forget VDIG, I'm going to Wellington, what was the bond rates doing back then compared to what they're doing now? And
interest rates were coming down, bonds were exploding.
Exactly.
You got a big tailwind from the bond portfolio.
Tailwind. And so now that tailwind's evaporated.
Yeah.
And so
it'll become a headwind at some point when interest rates go up.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But we don't know. And so I don't have any bonds. I just don't believe in bonds. But I would not be argumentative if someone said I'm going 50-50, 50 Wellington and 50 VDIG. I don't. Just because Wellington did better for 25 years, I think there's a reason. Just because, like you said, the tailwind of the bonds, those days are gone. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but
more downside than upside at this point. You can't go. You can only go so far negative. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right on.
Yeah.
And so because if you're looking at one fund, but you'll kind of think, I would split them both between Wellington and VDIG.
Yeah,
and VDIG, was it 22 basis points?
It's dirt cheap.
It's insane. Some guy had sent me an article yesterday from Morningstar, some of their favorite funds for retirement, and I don't think they talked about dividend growth, but they did talk about Wellington. They like that. They talked about prime cap, and that's closed to new investors unless you get it through a 401k. I wonder if prime cap, can you get it through their personal advisory service? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's just index funds. Yeah, 22 basis. Anyway, the point about VDIG is it closed. Someone has asked.
Effective management, yeah, that's right, Rob.
They said, why do funds close and open back up? It's because they get too big. I think Marie asked this, I think it was her name, but she said, why do they close and open back up? Because they get too big. And when you're an actively managed fund and you're looking for your opportunity, you can't have, like what happened with Fidelity Magellan. When Peter Lynch ran it, no one knew who Fidelity Magellan was or who Peter Lynch was. And then it got so big that all the money was chasing it, and they had too much money. They had to buy their 3rd and 4th picks. Yeah, I don't think prime cap's ever open in Quincy. That sucker is, I don't see that happening. And so what happened is, what makes Vanguard so flippin' awesome And if my man Tom's on here, I'm not saying anything bad about Fidelity. I had a guy who's like, you hate Fidelity. He's just joking me. But anyway, there goes Blue Ridge. What's a Blue Ridge?
It's a little, it's our electric Uber. Okay. It's a little golf cart shuttle service you can take around town.
Kind of cool.
Not bad.
What was I just saying? Oh, so going back to VDIG, they open it up because at some point they lose enough assets because of people dying off and stuff like that they feel they can accommodate more investment in there. And once they hit a certain threshold, like I'd say probably 50 billion in this case, which is a lot of money, but don't forget Apple and Microsoft and Amazon, they're all like $1 trillion. I hear someone can gift you a share of Prime Cap and buy more. Huh. I think as long as you own it.
Wow, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, good idea.
As long as you own it, you can.
Wow.
But anyway, so if you're looking at dividend growth, we don't get paid. We don't care. No. But man, I'd be up buying that ASAP because they're going to shut that bad boy down at some point.
Got a question for you.
Yeah.
Asset location. See how detailed, if this matters or not.
Let's move this forward to get a little bit out of
get out of this.
Actually, we're gonna let's change it this way here real quick.
Give a different view.
Yeah, because the sun's getting on my head and it's making me
sweaty. Let's move this. Apologies for the live production.
This is
adjustment.
All right.
Yeah, that's all much better.
Yeah.
We're not going to be backlit either. So, asset location.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oop.
Does it make a difference if you put VDIG in a Roth before tax or after tax account?
See, it's much better.
What's your thoughts on that?
All right, so say it again.
VDIG,
Uh-huh.
high dividend payer. Do you put it in a Roth, after tax, or before tax 401k IRA? Does it make a difference?
Absolutely.
Roth,
Roth, without
why?
question.
Because dividends are taxed at income levels.
Absolutely.
Capital
question.
gains you'd want after tax because capital gains rates are lower.
I would
Maybe.
well,
there's logic to how you structure your portfolio. Do you look into that stuff?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've written an article on it. I don't do as much of it as I should, but as I'm moving money around, I've got a little strategy tab that I built, and I said, okay, VDIG type investments, keep those in the Roth or wherever, and I try to as I'm rebalancing or as I'm moving money up or down in different asset classes, I'll try to use that logic to make sure I'm growing the right ones and reducing the other ones.
That's a big deal. I would suggest, so what I do, Fritz, is I say, look, like a VBK is a Vanguard Small Cap Growth ETF. That would be in your taxable account because it doesn't have any, essentially no capital gain distributions because it's an ETF. And there's no dividends on there. And so that's just going without giving any 1099s. You'd want your bonds in your IRA, your pre-tax accounts, and you want your dividend growth in your Roth accounts. The issue, of course, so most people have the bulk of their money in their tax-deferred accounts.
I got that problem.
Well, me too. All my money's in my IRA. So if you have close, 30, 30, 30, or 33, 33, 33, VBK in your taxable account, your bonds in your IRA, and then your dividend growth in your Roth. But no one has it like that. So you got to be. You're gonna have to leave a little bit of money on the table in that regard to have stocks in your Roth, stocks in your tax deferred account.
So you topping off tax brackets this year? I am with the new tax laws, the lower tax brackets. I'm topping off trying to do the before tax conversions to a Roth. I'm looking at doing it right now because we're in September, right? You kind of know where your income's going to be. You can start fine tuning it and doing your transfers. I'm working on it. I worked on it this morning.
I cannot believe that. Let's see. I could not agree with that more. So Fritz is saying, make sure you're taking advantage of the new tax law.
Yeah.
It's going away. I don't care. I mean, Trump even gets reelected or not. He won't be a third term, so there's going to be a new president in 2025, and if they need to raise money. That's all there is to it. Medicare is hurting for sure, and they're going to raise tax on that. So you better take advantage of the tax all the way you can. What are your thoughts on dollar? Yeah, you want to take that
versus lump sum? Oh, that's if you read the math, lump sum is always the way to go. I'll tell you right now, I never lump sum. My annual bonus at work is a good example, right? Every year you get this bonus. Pretty nice chunk of change. I'm retired now, so I don't get it. I miss it. But when I got that big chunk of change, I could never have the courage to say, I'm just going to throw it all in there. All the math says you should do lump sum. Over time, you'll be better. Emotionally, this goes back to what we were talking earlier about paying off the house. I just, I would put in pretty big dollar cost averaging chunks, and I'd maybe do it over, you know, a year or less before my next bonus came in. But I just felt better about setting it up, automating it, and then just let it dollar cost average in over the 12 months before my next bonus came in. So lump sum's supposed to be better. Dollar cost averaging for me is always easier emotionally. I don't know how you feel about it.
Man, it's I've never had the opportunity to lump sum into a taxable account because I've always had debt. As much as I hate to say it, I mean, this is why I'm blessed for you guys to be here today, because you helped me pay off my debt. As much as that sounds trite, but it's fact. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's the math always says the same thing, but man, it's the mechanics of your brain don't work like a spreadsheet. I don't. There's no other way around that. Along those lines, let me ask you. I get this question a lot. Instead of dump sum, instead of lump sum dollar cost averaging, how about on a the distribution from a required distribution?
Okay, so here's what I'm doing on I haven't gotten to the RMDs yet. I'm only 56, but to set up my paycheck, what I've done is I set up 3 years worth of cash. Okay, I'm giving up some potential return because it's all sitting in cash, but I don't have to worry about sequence of return risk. Right? So I got 3 years of my income sitting in a Capital One 360 money market, and every month I just transfer it into our checking account, and we know whatever's in our checking account we can spend. It's all based on safe withdrawal rate down to about 3.5%. So I know we can spend it. I don't have to worry about it. So that's basically the bucket system. And that's bucket one. That's the article you wrote that I wrote that you read the first time we met each other. You were reading that article.
When you reached out, I think you reached out.
Yeah. So I do the bucket system. Bucket one is cash, 3 years. Bucket two is kind of more bonds, REITs, and then bucket three is, you know, anything beyond 7 years, it's all stocks. So then the question becomes, how often and how do you refill bucket one? And that's to me the bigger question on the withdrawal stage. That's a good question. The dollar cost average lump sum when you invest and accumulate, but how do you manage the withdrawal side? And basically what I've done now, 14 months into retirement, is I try to at least maybe once a quarter look at something that's done pretty well and just skim some off the top. I redirect dividends. You know, you can redirect your dividends into your cash bucket. That's fine, but that's not enough typically. You're spending more than your dividends.
You take so when the market's up, you pull.
I mean, you're kind of timing the market by doing that, but you have to refill it at some point. And I don't want to wait until it's down to 1 year and then have the market be in a bear market and I've lost my whole purpose of bucket one. You got to keep it full. So that's kind of how I'm doing it.
I think one of the best strategies is take gains when you can. I mean, that doesn't mean every day or anything, but if you're down to 18 months on your bucket and the market's up 20%, take the gains, man.
And the market's been really strong since I've retired, so I've just kind of kept taking some off.
That's I'm not there, but I just know the folks I've worked with say no one gets mad when they take gains. No one gets mad, but they do get mad when they got to sell at a loss to replenish that bucket. You know, so going back along the lines too of RMDs and stuff, did you take it or did you dollar cost average? For me, I just said just take the damn thing and be done with it. 1 January, just take your RMD and just be done with it. I just don't make it more difficult than it needs to be. Unless you can set it up. I mean, Vanguard or whatever, Fidelity, you can set up, I guess, $500 a month, something like that. For me personally, I just say take it and be done with it. But one thing I will tell you, folks, I've had this going back to you and Jackie. Let's just say Fritz is 75 years old and it's December 15th and he dies. And he leaves his money to Jackie and he forgot to take an RMD. All right, now Jackie just lost her husband and she's like, what do I do next? I mean, the last thing she's worried about is RMDs. You see what I'm saying? I mean, she's trying to set up the funeral and whatnot. Well, if she doesn't take her RMD for him by the 31st of December, that's still a penalty. Now, will the IRS be how withdraw an actual dollar amount as you go, leave the rest to work for you? Okay, so what happens is, that's why I say take your RMD sooner rather than later, simply because you don't, I've had that happen with a client when I was in USAA, and just, and you think the IRS would work with you. The IRS doesn't have to work with you. They say, well, you had 355 days, Jackie, to get the money out, and you neglected to do so. Pay up. You see what I'm saying? And I just, and just going back to the video I did yesterday, I did a video yesterday about the ineptitude of some Social Security people. And literally, the people down there who work there. I was like, oh my goodness, we're talking the same people. If you think the IRS agents have any love for you because you just lost your husband, think again. That all they care about is the dollars that they got to pay. And to be honest, that's probably the way it should be. What's the question? Was just
whether about you take equal dollar amounts out of your RMD every month. I think the problem with that I would see, you're going to guarantee that you're going to sell more shares. It's punitive dollar cost averaging, right? If you take out $1,000 a month, you're going to sell, and let's say everything's $1 a share, you're going to sell 1,000 shares. If things drop to 50 cents a share, you're going to sell 2,000 shares to get that same $1,000.
Yeah.
So you're forcing yourself to sell more shares at exactly the time you shouldn't when the price is down. So I have a little bit of a problem with fixed dollar amounts per month. Now at the same time, if you do it all on January 1st, well, you're speculating anyway because you're just selling it on any given day's price. So maybe it doesn't hurt you as much as, you know, but anyway, that's my thought on that. The steady dollar amount withdrawals has some risk to it.
It's kind of
hard to read that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Roth conversion prior to RMDs are required.
They don't keep it up long enough.
No, they don't. Yeah.
The thing on the reverse dollar cost averaging, though, we all know dollar cost averaging works because you're buying on a market that's fluctuating, but it also works against you when you're taking money out.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, just keep it simple, stupid. That's why I say, it's like, look, you know you gotta get the money, just pull the money out.
Yeah.
Market's giving you up 20%, we'll take 20%. Well, you don't have to take the full thing out, but just just put the money in your checking account and be done with it for sure. Hold on just a second. we got a driver there.
You see if the train's coming. Yeah.
What other?
Touch on mistakes?
Yeah.
Do that?
So Fritz had some
46.
246 right now.
Yep.
All right.
So the train should be here in 10 minutes, thereabouts. We'll see.
10 minutes for the train.
So should we finally get to the topic of what we're going to talk about today? Okay.
Some mistakes.
So, Josh said on his way up, hey, let's just talk about some mistakes. So, the first mistake I think of, and it's probably not those of you that are watching, because those of you that are watching take care of your money and you're responsible. But I got a few statistics. I actually took notes for this thing. To me, the biggest mistake, Josh, is people that think they're going to be able to work as long as they want to work. 50% of people retire earlier than they planned on it. 50%. I got a source here. I should probably put it out here. EBRI.
Oh yeah, EBRI.
So 50% of people retire sooner than they planned. And
Sooner than they planned.
Sooner than they planned. Health. Either your parents might need some help. You know, you have a health issue, or you get downsized out of your job. 50%.
That's
so. You know, always assume you're going to have to retire sooner than you want to. Maybe you say, oh, I'm just going to work till 65. I don't need to save 20%. I can get by with my 10% and I'll be fine. Chances are you're not. You know, 50% of you aren't going to make it to 65. So that's mistake number one.
That's a big one.
People assume they can just keep working. Mistake number two, which is
wait, add to that.
Yeah.
So that's man. That someone had posted. I did a video yesterday on taking a mortgage in retirement, how you actually do it. And someone had I forgot who it was, but a frequent commenter said the issue about taking a mortgage in retirement is that, or taking a mortgage at all, is that you're assuming that you'll have the job in which to pay the mortgage. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you might be able to qualify today, just because you qualify today based on your income. If you lose your job or something like that, then you're in a world of hurt for sure. Yeah, most people think they're worth to 70.
Yeah, that's right. And chances are they're not going to.
Chances are they're basing their retirement plan based on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, so if it's EBRI, that's a
legitimate place, right? Okay, another one is 32% of baby boomers, 34% of Gen X, which I assume between the two.
Gen X, yeah.
So 33% of both have saved zero for retirement. 1/3 of people have not saved anything for retirement. And, you know, hey, I'll work forever. It kind of goes back to the first mistake. But, again, I don't think that's people here, because people here pay attention to this stuff.
Right.
But it's shocking to me that 1/3 of people don't have any money saved. You know, how many tens of millions of people, or hundreds of millions of people, baby boomer fact, 17% of baby boomers have not even thought about retirement. They never plan to retire. There's 76 million baby boomers. That's 13 million baby boomers that have never thought about retirement or never plan to retire. 13 million people. That's just baby boomers.
You got to be in your 60s by now, right?
56, because I'm at the tail end of it.
All right.
So I'm the youngest.
And they've
baby
never
boomer.
even thought about it?
That's what this, again, I got a source on this one.
I got you.
Yeah. So
how do you not think
basically
about
what
it?
that tells me is you're spending your paycheck and you're just not saving anything. So you're like, you know what? I'll deal with retirement when I have to.
But how do you not even think about it? You know what I'm saying? Like
I can't imagine.
I can get the understand not saving, but you still would. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's right around the corner. I was talking to a guy yesterday, actually a lady. She was I go to the gym. She was talking about her husband. He's 70 years old. He's a CPA. And he's like, you know what? I don't know. He runs his own, he's, one horse stable, so he can probably do this for a while. But he's like, you know what? I don't want to retire. I don't. So he goes, I don't even think about retirement. To me, this is what I do. This is what I like to do. And I'd be bored stiff. I don't want to retire. So maybe it's people like that as well that just, don't want acknowledge that someday they're going to retire. I don't know.
Or someday they'll be forced to.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay,
I mean,
no.
they don't even have a plan of action. That's what's.
Yeah.
I guarantee you don't have an estate plan then.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not thinking about retirement. They're not thinking about.
Well, and that's the other one I was going to say is
Oh.
estate planning.
Yeah.
That's a big mistake. Poor end of life, legacy planning. We
Oh, yeah.
talked about that a little earlier, the love
Yeah.
letter concept. Get your wills, man. If you don't have a will, you know, your health directives, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Come on. And it's surprising how many people don't
No,
take care of that stuff.
It's nuts.
So-
Or they had one 20 years ago. I
Yeah.
was talking to a guy up from Georgia. He was in Lawrenceville, and he had a lease cost your money.
It was.
Weird.
I agree, spectator. Yeah.
But this guy, he had his will done when Jimmy Carter was president. Hey, nice guy. He just never thought about it. I said, I have been planning my retirement for 30 years.
That was my mother.
I've been planning my retirement since I came out of the womb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said, man.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a newspaper route when I was 13 years
Yeah.
old, and I was probably doing like a 17% savings rate or something, right? I was saving money out of my paper route money. So yeah, I've been saving for a long time. And I got out at 55, so
I'll
it
tell you a
works.
story about paper routes. So I was raised on an island, as you guys, so you might not know
Yeah,
that.
in Maine, yeah.
In Maine, and we had a paper route. My best friend when I was on the island, named Bobby Smith, and I, we had this paper route, and you'd have this Portland Press Herald, and they had the Evening Express. We had 2 editions, and the Evening Express was the afternoon one, and so they'd ship it on a boat, right? And it's freaking cold in Maine, in case you didn't know. And one day we just said we don't feel like doing it, and so they shipped the papers. They put them, you know how they put in the stacks with the thing, and you have to flip it over, and so they threw it on the wharf. I was like, man, I don't feel like doing this. Bobby Smith said, I don't feel like doing this anyway. Let's just pretend they never got here. And so, you know, we're like 8, 9, 10. Wow, probably 10 years old. I said, okay. But they're going to say they already saw the papers being here. I said, well, let's pretend it didn't make it off the boat onto the wharf. So what we did, we stood up. I said, okay, count to 3. Going, gone. And I kicked it into the water, the Casco Bay. And so our boss called and said, why didn't you deliver the papers? I said, we didn't get them, sir. He said, the boat guy said he delivered them. They said, put them on the wharf. I said, no, we didn't. He said, well, it's funny because someone said they saw you kicking them into the water. And I said, oh,
Busted.
yeah, busted. So they delivered another thing we had to deliver that night. To say the least, we didn't get our tip. Did you used to have to go knock on the door for collections?
Oh yeah, once a month. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Y'all remember that? Having to go
Yeah.
knock on the door for collections
Yeah.
for a newspaper route?
And I think we had an envelope that we'd leave with a
Yeah.
you'd leave an envelope and pick it up the next day if you
With
had
hope
to.
it's a tip.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man. And
yeah.
you say, these guys didn't give me a tip. You know, oh, man,
Yeah.
that's crazy. What were we
None
talking
of that helped mistakes. So nice transition here.
about?
None of that counted towards our Social Security earnings, and it should have, right? Our paper route income didn't count towards Social Security. Doggone it.
Do we have a 10?
We're getting ripped off.
Did we get a W-2 for it?
I don't think so. It's all tips.
A newspaper route used
Hey,
to.
good
Yeah,
newspaper,
exactly.
yeah, that's
I know
right.
anyone who's grown up in the 70s, 60s and 70s
Yeah.
had a newspaper route.
Yeah.
My sister, you want to hear something crazy? My sister had one up in Maine. And there are a lot of losers out there. Let's just put it this way. A very prominent guy in Maine opened the door naked to my little sister. I was like, dude, you are a freaking scumbag. You opened the door naked. I said, I delivered grit newspaper, shoveled many driveways, cut many
I
lines.
shoveled snow in Michigan. Yeah. So,
Self-employed income.
another mistake. We talked about newspapers not counting towards. Let's see, delivered. They wouldn't let me cancel the deadbeat.
Oh, that's bullcrap.
Oh, wow.
And you had to eat. That's nuts.
So,
go ahead.
mistake number 3 or whatever. Taking Social Security too early.
Yeah.
You agree? Take it late? Longevity protection?
I do.
If you're healthy. If you're healthy.
There's a couple things that go in there. Tina.
Puerto Rico.
Tina!
Wow.
I was wondering about you the other day. I just heard from Tina. I thought I might have made you mad with some of my. Tina's she's up in Philly, and it's Saturday when you retire. That's awesome. Anyway, so I don't think Tina and I agree 100% politically, but we're both open-minded. But I can say some stuff that pisses people off, and I say I wonder if Tina's mad at me.
Josh, yeah, like your one this morning. That
Oh
makes some people mad.
man, I don't like that stuff.
Yeah.
Just and what were Social Security?
Social
All right.
Security, take it early or late.
I think it completely depends on, like you said, if you're healthy or not.
Yeah.
And it also depends on you're married. I think Fritz,
Good point.
if you're, I use like, did Jackie work or no?
She didn't work as much as I did. She has some Social Security, but it wouldn't be enough to live on. No way.
So we want you.
You want to maximize mine. Absolutely. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And I don't get the idea that I'm not going to live until I'm. Most people have this. No comments, Tina. Come on. Please tell me, Josh, you're the worst. That's fine. Just give me a thumbs up and say, Josh, you're the worst. I'm just joking. I'm glad you're in Puerto Rico. I hope you're with my man Alberto. Alberto used to be in the Army a long time ago.
Okay.
And he lived in Puerto Rico. And
Train.
oh, there it comes. Ooh.
Here it comes. You'll hear it in a minute, people. So we'll wrap this up, and then we'll close on the train.
We'll
whistle.
close. So
Okay.
Social Security, if you're young, if you're single, it's one thing. If you're married and your spouse hasn't made much money and she's gonna survive you, you're gonna be hard pressed to take it early, in my opinion.
And to me, it's longevity risk.
Yes.
There's very few things you have left. It's inflation-adjusted longevity risk, 8% annual return if you can defer. It's a no-brainer, right?
And I was listening to a guy the other day said they made. I thought this made sense. They did the mortality tables in 1983. Hey, thanks, Tina. Anytime you're doing a YouTube channel, you want them to hit like. It makes YouTube.
The
like,
algorithms go.
yeah.
Good. Here, can I like while we're broadcasting? He's getting closer.
You guys ready? So we're gonna close up shop here. I appreciate y'all being here on a afternoon.
Here, I'll hold this. You can do a wrap up, and then you'll see the train come in behind you.
Oh, here it comes. This is cool. So this is just all us. This is all people.
Yeah. It's a tourist train.
This is freaking awesome. This is awesome. Fritz, I'm glad you had me.
Hey,
up
you
here.
know what? I'm going to put this down and shake your hand real quick.
Right on, man.
Here we go, man.
This is
Thanks,
awesome.
thanks for coming up to
Absolutely,
Blue Ridge. That was
absolutely.
really great to
Right on.
spend the
Thanks,
time with
Jackie.
you.
This is awesome.
We'd never met before, and you know what? This is what retirement's all about. Spending time with people, getting to know them.
They don't know that I'm moving in. My wife kicked me out.
He doesn't know how much rent we're going to charge him. We can go one-on-one here. Okay, here comes the train.
So this is
All right.
coming from Chattanooga.
This went up to Copper Hill, Tennessee, right on the border, where the old copper mines used to be. So you guys should be able to see it coming in here.
Hey, right on, man.
Sorry.
That is cool.
That's a big train, man. Train.
Bunch of retirees on that.
Yeah, you know that.
Hey.
Anyway,
Hey.
they look really excited, don't
Hey.
they?
Was it fun? Should I take my kids? Sometimes
There we
I
go.
embarrass my wife. Hey, what's up, buddy? What size is that thing?
Yeah, it's doing back there a little ways.
Hey.
All right, you want to sign off here? Or I'll just
Thanks for being here, guys, and we'll see you on Sunday night at 2000 hours.
And thanks for letting me be on the show. It's
Yeah,
awesome,
man,
man. I appreciate it. The
Nice.
Retirement Manifesto, check it out. I'd
Retirement
appreciate it.
Manifesto. All right, see you guys.
All right, see you guys.
Cool, man. That was